Good morning. Welcome to Jerusalem. Last few days, a couple of people have come up to me and said they don't want to go on. It was in a therapeutic context, and I take such things seriously. But you see them another half hour, an hour later, they're ready to go on. Now, what is that when a person feels like he wants to die? What is that? It comes in, you feel it, life is too much, too many reasons not to go on, you want to die. And a half hour, an hour later, whatever it is, when a person's other self creeps back in, his higher self, oh, that's not so bad, I don't want to die. That was just a moment, an exaggeration. That, my friends, in Kabbalah is called Tam HaMavet, the taste of death. It's not death. It's not close to death. But you get a little taste of death. And why is that? That taste of death comes in. Well, I feel despair, I feel overwhelmed, I don't have any money, I don't have any friends, I don't have... Whatever reasons people have for feeling bad, and they're all legitimate. Somehow they go from zero, feeling like nothing, like I don't want too much of this world, to minus 100, I want to die. And then I remembered a Mishnah in Pirkei Avot. It says, the ethics of our fathers say to us, against your will you were created, against your will you will die, against your will you will give din v'cheshbon, which means a full report to heaven after you leave your body. Wow. I didn't really want to be created. I don't really want to die now that I am created. And at the end of the show, I got to give a full report of what I've done, good or otherwise. And so you start to wonder, well, if that's what I've got looking at me, why am I here? Why is it worth it to be here if I didn't want to come here? I was in heaven before. Maybe I was in hell, maybe somewhere in between. But I didn't want to come here, and now that I'm here, well, I see that it can be pretty good a lot of the time. And so I want to stay. And the fact that I have to tell God everything I did that was not so good and try to throw in a few good things, well, He knows everything anyways. So why does God need us to report to Him about what He already knows? Well, because He wants to see what we know. He wants to see what we remember. He wants to see what we've learned from the journey in this world. Because that's, when your child goes away on a trip and comes back, it's a big pleasure to hear from the child what he did on his journey. Some good things, some bad things, but the parent wants to hear it. The Creator wants to hear our report of our journey because He gets the pleasure of how we filter it. And that's worth something to an eternal invisible being, because He gets a piece of the action down here through our eyes. So even when you come to that moment of the taste of death, you tell God about it. God, this place, I'm not sure I want to be here. I'm not sure I just wouldn't rather take a rain check on this world and come back another day. But we don't have that option. Suicide in the halakha, in the Jewish law, suicide is called self-murder. It's not like, oh, he killed himself, we let him go. No, in heaven there's no letting go. You killed yourself, it's like killing somebody else. You don't have permission to kill ourselves. But we have to deal with that Tam HaMavet, the taste of death. And how do we deal with it? Why does it make it worthwhile? Because God says, choose me, choose life. Parshat Re'eh, will coming up a little while, says, I give before you life and death. He tells us, choose life. God is life. This world is the place that the snake and all his friends introduced the idea, the reality, the physical reality, the separation of the soul from the body. But we're not from the separation of the soul from the body. We're not from the body. We're from life. Choose life. And God says, oh, you choose life, you choose me, then you choose the Torah, because that's how I express my life in the tiny filaments of desire that are the 613 commandments. And the millions of offshoot filaments on the tree of life that come into our daily choices. Choose life. You taste life, and then you understand. You understand. The taste of death is not a pleasant experience. But I understand life because I've tasted death. I can start to appreciate life. And when we start to appreciate life moment by moment, I don't get overwhelmed by the big picture. And I don't get overwhelmed by the news or my family or anything. And whatever suffering is coming down the road, first of all, we can pray and move it aside. And second of all, we can do good deeds to push off the negative. So that's my blessing. All of us should just continually look for the new good deeds, the new prayers, the new moments of light that we can use to push that fly off my nose. You all have a great day. We'll see you again from Jerusalem. All the best.